welcome Brian Vickers, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Brian, have a seat. Join us.
How you doing?
Good, I'm doing good. It looks like it's going to clear up. What are you guys thinking? How's the weather looking on your guys' end? What are you guys thinking?
You know what? I haven't looked at the radar, but from what I've heard, it's going to clear up.
Getting some qualifying today?
I believe so.
Yeah, how was the car yesterday in the multiple practices you guys were able to put in yesterday?
We were good. We weren't. Excuse me. We weren't great. We were good, but we weren't perfect. We still wanted the car to turn a little bit better in the center. In general, I was really happy with the car. We were better in qualifying trim than race trim. We were I was just kind of waiting on the front tires and race trim, just waiting on it to really turn in the center. And we're going to make some changes. Hope we'll be really good in the race.
With the weather coming in and kind of washing the rubber off the track, does that change your team's strategy for qualifying now when you guys go out because a little bit of the grip's going to be worn off? Or does it just with the maybe cooler temperatures, does that not make it so much more of an issue?
Both are going to change the racetrack, but I don't know if we're going to adjust to it a lot. I mean, maybe a little bit. We'll adjust the car some, but not a whole lot. When it comes to getting around Martinsville, what is the type of setup that you like on your number 55 RK Motors Charlotte car? Do you like a loose setup? You like something tight? What do you prefer? I typically always prefer to be a little bit loose, just a little bit free, so to speak. On the long run, you really have to have the car underneath you coming off the corner. You have to be able to get the throttle down. You have to have good grip coming out of the turn, but you have to be able to roll the center. The car's got to be free enough to really roll the center and carry speed through the center. Is very important.
Is this when it comes to short track racing, do you like short track racing? Do you like the paperclip? Is this a track that you really you prefer to come to and race at?
Yeah, I've always loved Martinsville. Martinsville was one of the first races stock car races I ever raced in the Allison Legacy Series, and then I ran late models here. I grew up racing short tracks. I love short tracks. I like the big tracks. I like the speed as well, but Martinsville is one of the best tracks we have.
Yeah, you've got a pretty decent history through lots of different series, USAR with the Pro Cup series and stuff like that. Did that help you racing against all the veterans in those series to get up into the Cup level to be able to kind of give yourself a benchmark against those other drivers in those other series?
Yeah, absolutely. Racing against all those guys all those years. And, the experiences and the lessons learned through those series all contributed to being able to race in this series.
Like I said, folks, Brian is driving the RK Motors Charlotte number 55 this weekend. How cool is it to have RK on the car this weekend?
Oh, it's incredible. Obviously being a part of this team at MWR and with Rob and with Michael, given the opportunity has been incredible. I've just been so impressed with the team they've put together. What a great group of guys. It has been, absolutely incredible experience. And Rodney, I'll tell you a funny story. The crew chief, I've known Rodney for 20 years. And, he actually bolted my first go-kart together and went into... That was handed off to my father and a guy named Corey Smith that finished it. So we have a very long history together, and working with him has been incredible. But, obviously some of these cars, we were talking about this one last night. I know this one means a lot to him. That's pretty cool. I haven't had a chance to see it yet, so.
How excited would you be if they were like, Brian, we're going to let you drive this around a racetrack just to see what it's like? I mean, let's put it this way. If you could go back in time and race against these guys in one of these cars, where do you think you would stand?
There's no way to tell that. Through history, it's nearly impossible to know, compare drivers across different generations for sure. But these guys were men. Rob and I were talking about it last night. We don't know if they just didn't know any better. But, obviously the safety in these cars. If you went back, to go back and race this car, you kind of have to not know how dangerous it is.
Right, it's just got glass windshield. Every time I see the old cars, I can't believe they had glass windshields.
Well, and look inside the car. Just look at the steering wheel and the seat. It's interesting, even for me, if you go back and look at what I raced growing up, and the seats that we raced. The first seat and the first car that I had in the NASCAR Busch Series, the NASCAR Cup Series, I don't know if I would want to get in today and go race. I mean, knowing what I know now, I would have, I mean, it would definitely be on my mind while I was on the racetrack, knowing what I know now about safety and about seats, getting in one of those cars, an aluminum seat with a 5-point harness, with no Hans. Like, I would really have to question my judgment getting in that car. Getting in that car, I really have to question my judgment.
Right, me and Rob, we were talking about it. I mean, it's just like, in case some of you know, like even the seats that the drivers are in now, they almost cocoon your body so you really can't move. I mean, you're locked in. That's just a bench seat in a car with a couple seatbelts strapped into it.
I don't even know what that is on the side. What is the
That looks
black?
like so they can't get pushed over in a corner or something.
Dude, you want? Hey, why don't you tell the fans?
So what Junior was telling us is that's the seat from 1963. That's how they came. That was the bucket seat option. Basically, that's precisely what they came out with the factory. If you check one of our restorations, that's exactly what that thing looks like. I think that bar is a roll bar, but it doesn't seem very comfortable to me. And Junior was particularly proud of the tape that they use around the steering wheel. He was explaining how to get the grip to really turn, get the turn in, that it took them hours to get the tape wound around that certain way. So I think it's pretty cool.
It seems like that's where the phrase bare knuckle racing would come into play, because you're gripped into that steering wheel. You're just locked into it. I mean, and it's true. The safety evolution of these cars is just so dramatic from what this is. You guys probably now have, 99% more roll cage and just safety features from what these guys had now, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why you got to really admire the legends of the sport and what they went through to get us to where we are now, on and off the racetrack, and the risks they took. And some of them came out okay, and unfortunately some of them didn't. But Junior Johnson's one of the best. I've had the opportunity to meet him several times, and what a pleasure it's been. But going back to your original point, Arcade Motor Charlotte in the car this weekend. Really proud of that. But if you haven't had a chance to check out the website or go to the facility, it's pretty incredible. So.
It is. Do you have a favorite classic car, and what do classic cars mean to you?
I've always liked the old Corvettes. 66, 67 Corvettes. I don't know. I mean, I think it really comes from my father. That was his favorite car, so it kind of became my favorite car.
Does your dad own one?
He does, yes.
He does? Does he drive it around a lot? I take it?
He doesn't drive it much, no.
No?
He gets it out every once in a while. I've driven it a few times. I love it.
Right. Okay, so I also heard some good news for you came out yesterday. They added a couple more races on your schedule here for MWR.
Yes, they did. I'm really looking forward to it. We added the road courses, Sonoma and Watkins Glen, two of my favorite tracks. I've always enjoyed those courses, and Sonoma's been a good track for me. We've stood on a pole there, led a bunch of laps. I thought we had a shot at a win one time, and ended up getting an incident. The 18 wrecked a lap car, and we got caught up in it. But I'd love to go back there and recapture that win.
What makes a good road course driver? Why do you think some drivers excel, some drivers don't? Is it a shifting thing? Is it just knowing when to turn right instead of left all the time?
I don't really know what exactly the attributes are that would that really make a good road course racer. Obviously being smooth, being able to really use all of the racetrack, obviously the ability to turn left and right, and the shifting is important. Not making mistakes. Like, you have a lot of turns on a road course. It's easy to make a mistake. It's easy to dip a wheel off the course. It's easy to miss a shift. It's easy to wheel hop, especially in our cars. And it's gotten easier not to do those things than it used to be. Like, when I first started running the road courses, like, when I first got into NASCAR, if you didn't miss a shift and you didn't go off course, you'd probably finish in the top 10. That's not really the case anymore. It takes a lot more than just that to finish in the top 10 now. But a lot of it's just not making mistakes throughout a whole race.
Right, folks, in case you're just showing up, joining us here, we have Brian Vickers driving the number 55 RK Motors Charlotte Toyota Camry. Now, you brought us something that also affects drivers here. Wheel hop seems to sometimes, that will catch you here. You'll get wheel hop. Is there, you guys obviously in your setup, you probably have to work around finding the right setup so you don't have wheel hop coming off the corners here. Or how detrimental is it to hit the rumble strips on the inside? Will that also cause problems for you guys?
Yeah, the way the cars are now, you can hit the strip on the inside curb here at Martinsville, and it'll definitely upset the car. It depends on how hard you hit it. You will slow your lap time down, but it's not as detrimental as it used to be. It seems like, I don't know why that is, but it used to be to the extent that a lot of times you could definitely spin out. You could get yourself in a lot of trouble. But now it slows you down. It'll hurt you some. The wheel hopping going in the corner doesn't happen as much as it used to. I think the teams have gotten better at kind of building the cars in such a way and setting the cars up in such a way. The brakes have gotten a lot better, that it's not as big of an issue, but it can still happen. We were trying some stuff yesterday, and I wheel hopped a couple times, get in the corner. And I saved it. I chased it up in the marbles, but just hard. It's just a really hard braking track. It's easy to unload the rear tires and induce that wheel hop or lock the rear brakes up.
Right. Now, as we're just starting off the 2012 season, like you are running part-time, what are your goals? What are you trying to look for in the 2012 season as things progress? Obviously, it's looking good. You picked up the 2 more races. What else are you looking forward to?
To win races.
There you go. Definitely.
That's for me, it's I'm coming in and more of a part-time role, and obviously supporting Mark Martin, who's been just an incredible driver in our sports history, and it's really been a pleasure and experience for me to talk to Mark and to learn from him, talk to him over the weekends and about the race car, and just see how the team that he's kind of helped lead and build, and the momentum he's got behind the 55 car is incredible. So I just want to be here for these 8 races, not make any mistakes, obviously, and contribute to keeping this car as high in the points as possible, in the owner's points, and if not, trying to raise it up the ladder, and hopefully if we can get some wins in the process, great.
Right, and obviously you did that at Bristol. I mean, great finish at Bristol. You had to have been really pumped up about that. Yeah, no, it really was. It was incredible. Thank you so much. But it's really it says a lot about the team. I mean, these guys have. It wasn't just us. I mean, we had the opportunity to go out there and run well and lead laps and finish in the top 5, but the other 2 MWR cars in the top 5 as well. I mean, what a great weekend for Michael Waltrip Racing, and it was it was great to come out of the gate like that, but the car was just incredible. I mean, Rodney built, and the whole the organization obviously built 3 good cars, and as far as the 55 car and having Aaron's on board was special, and it was a really, really good car all day, and Rodney called a great race. Great. And folks, don't forget, if you want to follow Brian on Twitter, you can follow him at Brian L. Vickers. What's the L? Lee. All right. Okay, so here's, before we let you go, just good fun, non-racing question. I know you're sort of an extreme guy. What's the last extreme thing that you've done? I know you jumped out of a couple planes before. I've done some skydiving and chasing sharks and different things, but wait, how do you chase a shark? I thought it's the opposite way around. Don't sharks usually chase us? Yeah, the last time I actually went diving with a tank was in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. At the aquarium? Yes, and the shark tank, yeah. That's insane. Yeah, why would you want to go do that? I don't know. I would ask myself the same thing when I was inside. That is real. What kind of sharks were in the tank? There was a couple different breeds of sharks, but the whale shark was kind of the main attraction, which was massive. That was a huge shark. How big are we talking? Those things are like a couple stories long or something, aren't they? Well, in the tank they weren't that big, but they were huge. I don't remember the exact dimensions of them. They were pretty big. So, yeah, they're the size of a car. Yeah, they were bigger than that. Yeah. That's absolutely crazy. Felt like I had Junior Johnson chasing me around the tank. That's absolutely. So you just went in the tank, or you were like in a cage with a shark suit on? No, I was in the tank. I mean, they weren't great whites. Most sharks honestly aren't going to bother you unless it's kind of like,
you got to poke them with a stick to really upset them. They have a great white. I would never swim with a great white.
Yeah, so you see people do that on the Discovery Channel. It's like, you people are out of your mind.
They would cut you in half because they were bored.
Right. Well, Brian, thanks for coming by. Everybody, let's give it up for Brian Vickers. Good luck this weekend driving the number 55 Arcade Motors Charlotte Toyota Camry. Brian, thanks once again. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us. Let's give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Hey, like I said, folks, while you're here, make sure you check out all the cars. I'm sure Brian's going to